I went from having a negative bank account to now waking up every day living the life of my dreams. Now, this concept might not be for everyone, but if you're open to expanding and growing in a way that's proven to work for other people, and authors who write about this, completely eliminating the hard out of the equation, then stay tuned because I'm going to show you how I had my first six-figure month in the easiest way possible, and you can too. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, hit the subscribe button now and the bell notification. So anytime I release a new video about wealth consciousness or how to increase more abundance in your life, you'll be the first to know. Before we dive into this, I want to touch on how we've been programmed to think and believe that everything that we desire has to be difficult in order to have it. And I believed this for the longest time. But once you rewire that anything you want can be easy, that's the belief that you're going to be creating. So for example, many people think that losing weight has to be so difficult. So if they start thinking that all the time, that resistance gets created, and guess what? Losing weight becomes difficult. Or the thought that having money or making money is going to be absolutely difficult. Guess what? That's actually what's going to happen. And when we were little kids, we had conviction that everything that we wanted, we would get. But over time, that fades. And reality comes in, adulthood comes in and tells us, you know what? Life has to be hard. But when you're a little kid, you just expect it to show up. I see this with so many women that come to work with me personally, and guess what? We can shift all of this. Their breakthroughs are incredible, and I want to share some of those insights with you today. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So, number one, understanding wealth consciousness and how it relates to the law of attraction. There's a book called The Happy Pocket Full of Money. And if you haven't read it yet, you should, because it talks about wealth consciousness. Now, when we are having a high level of wealth consciousness, you are able to attract the things that you want at a rapid speed. Okay, what does wealth consciousness mean, right? It means that your belief systems around wealth aren't sitting in resistance. You don't have beliefs that money's hard to come by, or that, rich people are bad, or that money's bad, or that you can waste money. There's things about what your wealth consciousness means. It's like you have this overflow, this expansive state. You have power over money as opposed to money having power over you. And so when you're in this state of believing that there's wealth everywhere and always coming to you, which is a very hard thing for most people to grasp, but once they're finished working with me, they believe it and it works. They'll start seeing that when you're in that state of believing that the wealth is there and that you have a different mindset when it comes to money, your wealth consciousness increases. So that's going to be what you're attracting into your life. Now, imagine if you thought, rich people were bad and money was bad. Well, your wealth consciousness wouldn't be expanded. It would actually be depressed. So then you would think money was bad. The way money came in was hard. You had to work hard for everything. And well, guess what? That's what you'd be attracting into your life. So the more that we can increase and expand our wealth consciousness to a state of, neutrality, overflow, guess what? That's what we'll attract. Uncovering when these first beliefs came up are going to be the things that we can go in and rewire and change. A lot of our money beliefs were passed down to us from our parents, and they started as a young child. Like I said before, you might have heard your parents say, money doesn't grow on trees. Don't waste money. They'll be imposing their belief systems about money onto you. Guess what that starts doing? That starts creating what your wealth consciousness is at that time. And so sometimes our childhood trauma will come in because money is so connected to our emotional state. And maybe you never felt safe around money. Maybe your parents said the money's running out. You heard your parents arguing about money. This will also affect and cultivate what belief systems you have. Generations will come down and tell you, we've been broke, things are this way. And guess what? That's what starts getting created for you. So the way that you move through that is that you start changing how you view money and wealth. And so for me, my mom would say, you can, don't waste your money. And I remember telling her one time when I started doing this work, I'm like, Mom, don't tell me that. Don't tell me I can waste money, because money is infinite. It's always replenishing. It's always in abundance. And when I started believing that, it changed. And I told her that, and she's like, well, I didn't know. I just said that because, that it was just a reflex to tell you that. And a lot of the times what your parents are telling you, what you've been exposed to is just because people have said it, and that's how it's been. But when you start shifting into a different level of consciousness and awareness, guess what? Your wealth consciousness changed, and you start accessing more abundance and wealth in your life. So what I would suggest you to do is write down all your money beliefs. I have everybody do this. Like, are these beliefs yours? Are these beliefs even true? Are these beliefs that you even want to believe, right? And sometimes they're so ingrained in us, and it creates this like emotional connection, which then, creates this like fear base around it, and then we start creating anxiety around it, and they're not even really our beliefs and things that we want to believe. So make a list of all your money beliefs and all the things around the money, because then when you can identify what you truly believe about money, things can change. I remember going to a dinner recently over the summer, and I was giving a talk at the dinner, and one of the gals there said, I said, "What's your big money belief?" And she goes, "I know. I believe that rich people are bad." And this woman made $1 million a year. And I said, "You think that they're bad?" And she goes, "Yeah, because that's what I was told as a kid growing up, right?" I go, "Do you believe that?" She goes, "No, I don't believe that, but I don't know why I've been believing it for so long." I said, "You don't get to believe that anymore." She's like, "I just can't believe I've been sitting here with this belief in my mind and my subconscious and conscious the whole time, and it's not something I actually even believe." If you start writing down your beliefs, you're going to be able to identify what's yours, what's not yours, and what are the things that you're thinking right now that you actually want to change, because guess what? You can't. So now that you made the list of the things that you know, well, then what do you want to believe, right? Like I said, you can flip it around. So if you believe that rich people are bad, or that you did, maybe you can say that it doesn't matter what rich people are, because I get to decide what money is, not who's doing what with money. Because there's people who have wealth that are doing great things, and there's people who have wealth that aren't. And so it's not the money that's determining whether or not they're good or bad. It's our assignment to that money. So what do you want to believe, and how can you turn it around? What if we decided that money gets to be easy? What if we decided that money isn't running out? Because maybe you think that you can waste money, but can you, if money is being replenished all the time? Is money really going away? Can you lose it? No, because it's here. And there's always more. But what happens to people is when they spend money, or if they've lost money, or if there's been something that's, been emotional tied to it, that's been a deficit. Maybe they loaned some money away, which I suggest you never do, and someone hasn't paid you back, you feel the loss forever. But that will be what your frequency is. So maybe there's these money beliefs that we just need to flip around, because you've got old experiences and stories that are supporting them. You get to change those beliefs right now. So from that list that we made, what I want you to do is turn around now, and what can we now decide what we want to feel and think about money? Okay, the last one. What kind of affirmations or desires can we put together that now we can start reinforcing our new beliefs, and we can emotionally get behind, and it basically changes the game? I'll give you an example. For me, I had a moment where I was believing, when I had a shift in my business where, making a 6 figures a month, and I was doing one-on-one coaching, and I knew that I had to go and change to do one-to-many, because that was a time in my business now where that's where I was going to scale my business. And I was scared, because I had all these recurring clients that were paying me, a certain amount every month that was exceeding $100,000. What will I do now? I had to start a brand new offer and do a mastermind and do one-to-many. Was this possible? I was so worried about the dip in income that I didn't know what to do. And I remember I was on my Peloton one day, and I was riding on this Peloton, and I was like so terrified. And I'm like, Shamina, what do you know to be true? You know that money's infinite. You know that it's coming from everywhere. It doesn't always have to come from one-on-one. It can come from any avenue, because if you believe money to be there, and you believe that it's always there supporting you, it doesn't matter how it's coming in, it will come. And I remember I was crying on the Peloton, and I just kept saying, more is coming. More is coming. More is coming. And from that moment on, it's actually everywhere on my swag. It's everywhere. It's a mantra that I just keep repeating to myself, and I tell everybody about it. Because if you believe more is coming, you will never feel like money is done and gone, or that it's been wasted, or that you've lost it, because you know more is coming. They're printing more money now than they've ever printed before. So if you can start to believe that more is coming, that could be a mantra that you can borrow from me that you can use now. But what can you come up with that can help you believe? Like I say, I'm always supported by money. I'm always supported by money. And when I start believing that and thinking that, everything changes. I don't feel that fear around it going away, because I always feel like it's been there for me. I think about my cell phone, the things in my life that I have, money always shows up. And when I believe money's always going to show up, guess what? It shows up. So think about some affirmations that you can use that can help you. And, I know a lot of people say they're a money magnet, but really that one didn't work for me, because saying I was a money magnet, I was like, what does that look like to be a money magnet? I was like, do I just magnetize money? I had to think of a way that would shift me emotionally, that I could emotionally get behind the mantra. Because if I could emotionally get behind the mantra, then my subconscious would be attracting that that belief to me, right? But if it was in my head and I was like, well, I don't know, there got to be an actual magnet to do it, it didn't resonate with me. Maybe it will with you. But sit down and come up with some affirmations that can help you reinforce the belief systems that you are shifting into now. And maybe it is like money's neutral. I always say that I have power over money. I get to assign meaning to money. I get to decide what money means to me, not what society tells me what it is. So you come up with your affirmations. I would love to hear what you're coming up with, because you never know, maybe it might be helping me too. So after listening to this today, what's a belief that you've been hanging on to all these years that really it's not true, and that you're ready to just be like, okay, bye? I'd love you to drop in the comments and share with me. If you need further help with this and you want to be able to process more, journaling has been one of the top things that have literally changed my life and changed my money beliefs. I have a journaling program that takes you step by step to help you rewire those belief systems about everything. So you can start now taking a thought that really is not serving you, because it's just something you've just been thinking, and how to move it into a state of something that you do want to think. It's going to help you manifest. It's going to help you reshape your money mindset. It's going to help you and give you a tool that you can start using with all of your journaling from here on out. And my method and my system is so different than others. It really, really works. I was so stubborn with my thoughts. Like, none of those write things down for 500 times and none of that stuff was working, because I was so committed to these thoughts that I came up with my own system. And being an attorney, I was like, I'm going to ask this thing 10 different ways and figure it out. And I literally got to the root of my issues through the journaling. So go click the link below and get this journaling program and start rewiring those beliefs and start now getting yourself into the state of overflow and abundance. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and leave me a comment below. I love connecting with people. All right, stay tuned for the next video.